How many chances does Kathleen Kennedy get? How many absolute failures must she produce before she's finally shown the door? Welcome, me hearties. I'm Dr. Disaster, the ever-charming space pirate captain, and today I wanted to talk about what looks like another big mess for Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm. It appears, from information that we have available, that the Acolyte's second season may be canceled already.
Welcome to Earth.
Yes, Lucasfilm is coming back down to Earth. The Mandalorian can no longer save them. This show, The Acolyte, where the creator has flat out called it a queer-coded show, cannot save them. And in fact, it may very well quietly be on the chopping block already. When this report came out, there was at least one guy doing a little happy dance in celebration and mockery.
Well, of course I know him. He's me.
Due to an accounting issue, it seems the entire Acolyte production might end up being lost to Disney. Now, for clarification, this does not mean that Season 1 won't necessarily be airing on Disney Plus in a year as they planned. What this may mean is that Season 2 is already shut down. I suspect Bob Iger, who said he's already seen the show, realizes how shitty it is and has decided it's no longer worth investing in. We'll get more into what I think in a few minutes, but what I want to know is what you think. Drop a line in the comment section, will the Acolyte Season 2 happen or no? And also, really quick note, we just hit 4,000 subscribers on the channel, meaning it was time to add a new ship to the fleet. You may have noticed this little ship added at the beginning of the video. Thanks, me hearties, the Space Pirate crew is growing quickly, and y'all are awesome.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
Yo!
I knew it, I'm surrounded by assholes.
Keep firing, assholes!
Alright, me hearties, let's have a look at this report from That Park Place. UK government threatening to dissolve Star Wars Acolyte production and seize assets. Strange things are happening with The Acolyte and its development in the United Kingdom. While we don't believe the series is cancelled, continuation for a second season could already be out the window a year before release.
Oh, what a loser!
Is trouble afoot for the television production of Star Wars The Acolyte? The government of the UK has made public notice to Lucasfilm that the Walt Disney Company entity needs to respond immediately, or it might result in severe consequences for the Leslie Headland-helmed production. As That Park Place has covered in the past, when Hollywood studios begin the work process on a new television or film production, they create what is known as a production entity in order to facilitate legal entity accounting and take on any financing that will occur during the course of creating said television show or film. Usually, these entities receive vague or subtle names to keep away from the prying eyes of the public, who can be desperate to know more about their favorite upcoming superhero films like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, aka PIM Productions 2 in the eyes of the UK government. Due to a lawsuit filed by former Acolyte producer Karen McCarthy, we know that the production entities for the show are Blue Stockings LLC in the United States and Blue Stockings Ltd in the United Kingdom. As we've covered in the past, UK entities are required to list the cost of their productions publicly in order to be eligible for UK tax credits. This is how we've been able to determine the exorbitant amount of money that Lucasfilm and Disney have spent trying to revive the failing Star Wars franchise. Only Kathleen Kennedy's Lucasfilm, custodians of what was once the most popular and revered IP in cinema, could be stupid enough to dump a ton of money into a show that bills itself as queer-coded. Only they could be so ideologically driven and flat-out blind enough to think that it wouldn't blow up in their faces. But I digress. This is also how we've been able to determine that Disney corporate legal is heavily involved in the setup and regulatory compliance of these production entities, which are wholly owned by Lucasfilm, itself wholly owned by the Walt Disney Company. Even for a Lucasfilm entity, the directors of record for both Blue Stockings entities are an overwhelming majority sourced from Walt Disney Company corporate legal, not Lucasfilm or Kathleen Kennedy and Headland herself, as some have speculated. During the course of updating our own files on the Acolyte, I came across an unusual regulatory notice from the UK government regarding an issue with Blue Stockings Ltd. 2 weeks ago, Companies House, the United Kingdom Business Registration Authority, issued a First Gazette bulletin informing the creditors of Blue Stockings that, quote, unless cause is shown to the contrary, end quote, that the UK entity for the Acolyte would be dissolved and struck from the register, and all assets held by the company will become property of the Crown. Blue Stockings has until the middle of July to become compliant with UK law, or the Acolyte will belong to the UK government.
I'm sorry.
Previous filings showed that Blue Stockings UK extended its accounting period earlier this year, most likely to allow for all production costs to be consolidated into a single filing for a uniform application of the production's UK tax credits. Our records from that time indicate the account was already listed as out of compliance. Ever since December of last year, the Acolyte has been plagued on social media by rumors that the show was a fake production or was stalled in development. Since then, set photos have leaked, a sizzle reel has been shown at the massive Star Wars Celebration fan convention, and Disney CEO Bob Iger has confirmed to investors that he has seen part of the show and gave his stamp of approval, also adding that the show will premiere on Disney Plus in 2024. And this, to me, is the real meat and potatoes of this story. As usual, this is all just speculation on my part, but it seems to me that an accounting error like this could be easily fixed by a company the size of Disney. These guys have a freaking army of accountants and attorneys guiding them through every step they take. The idea that this has randomly happened, that these attorneys and accountants missed this tax issue, is pretty sketchy. I suspect Bobby Boy saw the Acolyte, realizes what a shit show he has on his hands, and they're shutting it down.
Burn it.
Considering the information we covered yesterday and the dire financial straits Disney finds itself in, it doesn't surprise me at all that they are trying to avoid pumping any more money into this mess. They can't afford it. They have to begin making decisions that make sense and bring customers back. The boycott is working, folks. Continuing on. In May, noted Lucasfilm and Walt Disney Company critic Kamran Pasha stated that his source, Sparrow, had confirmed that Bob Iger was even questioning the amount of capital being used on the Acolyte and wondered if they should continue to throw money away on the Acolyte. Pasha has repeatedly said that the Acolyte is a scam. According to a UK tax professional, First Gazette notices are often triggered due to filing compliance issues. By that logic, any debts assumed by Blue Stockings UK would then become debts of Lucasfilm while jeopardizing the tax credits that the production might receive. Several websites have spoken out, saying that their sources have confirmed that the Acolyte completed first and second unit production before the WGA writers' strike. While that Park Place cannot confirm other website sources, this is consistent with our own source that confirmed to WDW Pro that post-production, SFX, and CGI is currently being done on the Acolyte. Pro has reached out to sources with Lucasfilm who assure the post-production is indeed on the way. However, with the production already done, but the shell company potentially on the way to dissolution, has Disney already decided to abandon the Acolyte after one season? Or is this just a major accounting issue that Lucasfilm should quickly resolve? To me personally, this is just a matter of odds. What are the odds that one of the largest companies in the world missed an accounting error that could jeopardize their intellectual property? Now, I'm not saying it's impossible. Strange stuff happens, I get it. But think about the odds. Let me ask this question in a different way. Is it more likely that the army of accountants and attorneys working for Disney missed this crucial error? Or is it more likely that Bob Iger saw the Acolyte's first season and decided wasting more money on the show while the company is struggling is a bad idea? Hell, maybe it's not even that the show is bad. My guess is that it sucks, but maybe Iger just can't justify spending much of anything on Star Wars right now. Hard to say for sure, but there's a reason the company brought Iger back several months ago. Something is happening, as I said yesterday, something big, and strange things are afoot, and Bob Iger is being put into a position where he has to make difficult decisions. Maybe that's what this is. If you ask me though, the simplest explanation for what we have going on here is this. Iger doesn't like the Acolyte. Obviously in public he has to sound supportive of it, but he probably realizes it won't bring people back to Disney Plus, it won't drive subscriber growth, so he's shutting it down. Good riddance to bad rubbish. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.